Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. And with permission, I would like to make a statement to the House on legal migration. Migration to this country is far too high and needs to come down. And today we are taking more robust action than any other government before in order to bring this down.
Take a look at this image. This just tells you about the work visas that have been increasingly given out to primary applicants. Consider that this is not the dependents, this is just the primary applicants, and you can see how UK has been giving out visas to so many workers every single year. Now, if you understand this proportionately, there's a chart for people who are basically dependents also, and that chart is also going up similarly. However, the UK is now going to impose restrictions because this is not feasible in the long run. Rishi Sunak has been recently cited saying that immigration levels have been going too high and we need to do something about it. So they've come out with some new restrictions, some new policies on the basis of which at least 300,000 people who were given visas as workers or dependents this year will not be able to get them in the upcoming year. Now notice all of this is in reality bad news if you are going to the UK, but this is news that you need to be aware of. The first update that they've mentioned is related to dependents. As I mentioned, a lot of people are bringing their dependents. So let's say a worker is going, they're bringing their spouse, their children along with them to the UK. Now for many workers, these dependents would not be possible to bring anymore. And the UK's argument is that it doesn't matter if these workers are young, single, or whether they are aged and they have a family, whoever wants to come has to come alone and they will not be allowed to take the dependents with them. Now, of course, there are certain exceptions, but there will be restrictions coming on in terms of dependents, and we're going to be talking about that shortly in the upcoming changes that I explained to you as well. The second major change is the threshold in terms of the salary that the skilled workers have to sustain to be able to stay in the UK. So earlier, this minimum salary was £26,700, which was quite decent. I mean, all right, that's way below the median amount. But the new minimum for skilled workers, so if a company has to import a skilled worker, they have to pay them at least £38,700. And of course, similarly, dependents also have to be paid for more. Now understand this, £38,700 per year. While this may not be the highest of salaries, this is still way above the median. That means that when the median salary itself is close to £35,000, as you can see in the picture, they need to be paid more than just about any random UK worker that any company can find. So if a company is not able to find someone cheaper, right, and it would be easier for them to find someone cheaper because then this person can be from the UK itself, and they import you, then they have to pay you more than them in most cases. Hence, going forward, getting a job in the UK as an international worker or as someone who is basically being imported into the UK for work is going to be considerably harder as compared to what it is right now. Now, I've been making quite some videos on this channel on how to actually get a job when you're an overseas worker, when you want to basically go ahead and start working in the UK or many other European countries, and I'll keep you updated if UK is going to be still a good option for you given these rules. But again, if you need any help on that front, you can reach out to me on WhatsApp and we can discuss your case in detail. Remember, my number is in the description. The third biggest change is in the shortage occupations list. Now, there used to be some exceptions. If you are a skilled worker visa and you are in an occupation which is a shortage occupation list, right? So essentially, which is a part of that list. That means that, okay, so let's say that the UK is not having enough plumbers and you happen to be a plumber. That means that you happen to be in that shortage occupation list. And what that entails is that you can earn, let's say, 20% less than the required amount, which used to be somewhere close to £26,200 until last year, right? And that means that even if you have 20% less than that, you're still able to go to the UK and work. They can still sponsor your visa. However, all of that has changed now because this exception of 20% less is now going away. It doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter which occupation list you are in. So what they have mentioned is they're going to be publishing a new immigration salary list according to which your salary should be above that threshold that is required. Hence, the whole immigration list itself will be updated and you need to follow the updated one to be able to actually work in the UK. The fourth major update is based on the health and care worker visas. Now, last year alone itself, the UK granted more than 120,000 visas to the dependents of these healthcare workers. So if you're a healthcare worker and you're bringing your dependents with you, right? That means that these dependents were more than 120,000 last year. And what the UK is doing right now is that they've mentioned that overseas care workers will not be able to bring their dependents with them. So, if you are a family member of the healthcare worker, you will not be allowed to stay in the UK with them on their visa. What they're also doing is that they're tightening the definition of care workers and what kind of activities they can perform. And hence, if you do not fall into one of these activities, you're not able to visit the UK to work. The final and major change which affects students is the student dependents. And that means if you're a student and you have some dependents that come with you, they will no longer be allowed. Last year, the UK had more than 150,000 dependents. That means 153k actually, to be precise, dependents which came from students. However, this dependent policy, as they have previously also mentioned in the last couple of months, will be closed down, and finally it is being closed down, and hence you're not able to bring any dependents with you to the UK. How do you think that these immigration changes are going to impact immigration in UK? Do you think that less people are going to go this time, or does it make your life easier? Does it make your job easier to get to the UK because maybe you don't really have any dependents? It depends from a case-by-case scenario. I think that while mostly it has cons, but for some people it decreases competition. And if you are one of those some people, and again I can help you figure that out if you WhatsApp me, in that case your way to go to the UK may be actually easier. Of course, you have to command a high salary and everything. Now, moving forward, remember that there will be updates to this story, and I will keep you updated on either my YouTube channel, so you can subscribe over here, or you can follow me on Instagram, where I'll also keep you updated on even the smallest news regarding this story. Keep in mind that while UK may not be the best destinations, I will also be covering many more places in Europe that you can go to, and I hope to see you on the channels. Thank you so much for watching this one. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye and take care until next time.